Michael, I was called to see him at the emergency because he came in with severe headache and what we call raised intracranial pressure, which is a life-threatening condition. And with the MRI scan which was done, it showed that he had a brain tumor which was obstructing the flow of fluids in the brain. So that increased the pressure in his brain. And because it was life-threatening, we had to quickly prepare him for emergency surgery. Okay, so the first surgery was done, which went very well. The condition he had actually is called craniopharyngioma, which is a common tumor. After Michael, we've had to deal with two other children, one 6 years old and then one 12-year-old. So it's quite common, but very aggressive tumor. So once we were done with that, and we realized that the family was trying to raise funds for the main surgery, we then decided to keep him on the ward. But usually it will take about a year to actually get admission to even have elective surgery. But we all struck a very good chord with Michael because it was a fun to be with, and I became very close to him. It was more like a son. And even in pain, he would try to read around his condition. And I was actually shocked when Michael could explain in details the type of surgery that he was supposed to undergo. We have two approaches to the tumor. We can go through the nose using endoscopes, or you open the skull and then go for the tumor. But generally worldwide now, people use the nasal approach. So after a few days, he was reassessed and we thought it was stable and could undergo the second operation. And he opted for the transnasal approach using the endoscopes, which means you don't get cut. But of course, internally we cut and then drill the bones under the skull and get access to the tumor. So if you wouldn't mind, I can actually use this to demonstrate. I have a model here, which I can use to one half of the brain. Okay, and this is the brainstem, and then this is the major part of the brain itself. But where Michael had his tumor is around this area, okay? And it is basically a remnant of birth. So during the embryonic phase, these areas develop. But the main thing which happens is that the pituitary gland, which is the master gland, also develops around that area, which becomes a permanent structure. But where the tumor develops is supposed to involute or disappear during birth. Unfortunately, for most of the kids who develop this tumor, that area persists and then develops into the tumor. And most of them is between 5 years to 9 years. That's when you see it. It's not seen in children under 2 years. But I must say that the nerves which also control our vision is also around the same area. And then, of course, the hypothalamus, which keeps us awake, is also there. So the tumor itself is not a malignant tumor. But because of these structures, it makes it very difficult to treat, because in the past you probably have to go through some of these structures to go there, but with advanced technology you can go through the nose, and in some countries they even use neuronavigation to enhance it. So most of the children in Ghana, like in the case of Michael, he complained of headache, and sometimes the school thought he was lazy and all that, but that is what happens. So most people, it's going to take about 5 years before even they get a response to even do a CT scan. It's worse for those coming from the hinterlands and another region. So they will come in blind already. Okay, Michael was lucky. There was a doctor in the family, external family. So he asked that no, with headache and vomiting, he thinks he should go for a CT scan. That's how we picked it. So after the first surgery, his vision improved. But the tumor too is such that it's very close to the satiety and hunger center. So it can do two things. One, increase your or stimulate the hunger to the extent that it makes you eat so much and suppress the satiety center. And that ensures that you don't even feel like stopping. So most of them tend to gain weight. It disrupts your ability to regulate water. And remember, this tumor is in the brain, but it's affecting the kidney. So the child can have stunted growth and then stop growing in terms of height-wise. But they would keep bloating and bloating and bloating. And then sometimes they become non-arousable because of the hypothalamus. So it's very clear. And we must know that the brain is also the only organ which controls every part of the brain, including your skin and toenails. Everything about you is controlled from here. And that is why probably it's the only organ which has not been transplanted. It controls even your heart. It can tell your heart to stop beating and it will stop beating. So after the initial surgery and improved, we went in through the nose, had the surgery done. And like the mother said, I don't want to keep talking about it. But the second day, we noticed he had a fever, which we aggressively treated, and was doing fine. I actually spoke with him, and we were fans of each other. So usually I would go and he would sing. He had composed a song for me and my colleagues. So he sang the song, and we felt that he was doing very well on that Friday. He was in his jovial manner, interacting very well with everybody. And so I left him and then went home. Only later on to be called that Michael had gone into some cardiac arrest. He eventually we lost him. Okay, resuscitation was instituted. Everybody on the ward, including the floor of the ward, was calling to come and assist. And the mother, I'm sure, narrated the extent to which we were disadvantaged, the inadequacies on the ward to manage emergencies like that.